Alrighty, here we are, we're working on the head. I've actually taken the valves out of the head. I don't know whether I put that in the last video clipette. But the head is currently sitting on the grill, warming up so I can remove the valve guides. Oh yeah, you would have seen that because I wobbled them around. Yeah, and here is an exhaust valve, just for example. What I want to show you in the meantime, and I keep talking a lot about gasket goo, but this is the rocker box, and I don't know whether you can see just how much gasket goo is on this, but it comes, I mean, it's massive. It comes off in big crusty pieces stuck to, yeah, there you go, stuck to gasket. It just needs scraping. Yeah, so this needs a thorough clean out of all the gasket fragments and the goop, and we should be good. I'm kind of hoping that I can get all this back together relatively soon. I'm waiting for a hone. I've got to hone the valve guides to match the valves. When I get the new guides in, I've got new valve guides, and they come with stem seals, which is quite nice because my T140 could have benefited with that. It hasn't got stem seals, and when you start it up, every time you start it up, it tends to throw a little bit of smoke out for a couple of seconds or minutes, depending on how long you've left it, because it wet sumps a bit. Anyway, this is what I'm doing today. I have started making the front brake cable. I looked over there because I could see it on the bench, but when I get that close, I'll show you what I've done. That's also from a Van Hills kit, and so I've soldered on the nipple at the handlebar end, and I'm going to adjust it to the right length for the front brake cable, mark the cable, and then solder on the nipple. And when I do that, I'll video that piece, and then we'll put that on, and that'll be the front brake cable done, which will be nice because I've been talking about that for way too long. Anyway, that's it for now. So I thought I had and it's bloody hot. I thought I had the camera on, but I didn't. So I've knocked out the valve guides. What's interesting is they are both different. That is a proper BSA valve guide. I don't know what that is. I'm hoping they're the same diameter, and some genius hasn't reamed out the head, because then that's going to be a bit of a problem. I should measure them really when they've cooled down, but my trusty valve guide removing tool did a wonderful job. So I'm not sure I'm going to get those out. I'm going to try and clean this up now when it's cooled down, and then I'm going to soak it in gasoline, try and get all the crap out of it and off it, and try and clean it up as best as I can. And then we'll see about fitting the new valve guides. Hopefully these two are the same. I don't know whether you can see this. Hopefully these two are the same size. Yeah, they're warm. Let me just pick them up, put them in one hand. Hopefully these two are the same diameter across there. Hopefully they are. Right, so I'm making the new front cable. I've got the, sorry, get my knee out of the way. The outer here goes all the way up, it's routed correctly, goes up to the handlebars, which you can't see. What I'm now going to do is mark the cable where I need the nipple end to be. I'll just come down a little bit. So that's there. So now I'm going to solder a nipple on. Obviously with this in place, I don't have the right pull through. In fact, I'm going to use a side nipple, a barrel nipple, because I think that'll give me the most purchase on this. It's got a rotating pivot nipple at the top, so the cable can rotate. It'll stretch out, and then I'll have this. I can put this on, and then I'll have front brakes, which will be exciting. So I'm just now going to plug in the soldering iron. We'll clean this up. I'll cut this about there, and then slip the nipple on, clamp this in between a bit of wood. Where the end of the barrel is, I'll just swage the back of the wires out, and then get it hot with the soldering iron and fill it up with solder, and that'll be the cable done. And I've got to remember to put this on, because if I don't put this on, it has to come off again. So let's try and remember that. All right, so I'm not really keen on a barrel nipple for this thing, because what should support it is something that goes through it with a collar on the end. This is a Weber carburetor jet from a DCOE 45 that I had in my 1969 MGB. I've bought it. Nice big hole. It does go through. Come on. It goes through there and supports that nicely. The reason I like that better than using a barrel nipple, because it's got a greater wetted area. So now, for soldering, so there's more grip. I'm just going to cut this piece off, this end piece, there, and countersink this just a little piece so I can then spray the cable out, and I'll solder that on the end. And of course, because this is metric and that hole is imperial, I had to drill it out. So that's good. And I did enlarge the hole down the jet as well. So that took a bit of my best hand drilling. Alrighty, so it's I didn't get actually to finishing my my cable on Sunday. Ended up having a beer with the neighbours actually in the yard, which was quite nice after an early dinner or late lunch with my wife, which was also lovely. So here I am, Monday morning. Got a gap between meetings. Let's just grab the camera. I'm here. Got the soldering iron warming up. Got my homemade nipple on the brake cable. I've sprayed out the wires, so hopefully you can see that. So it forms a kind of a plug end. I've put a chamfered hole in there, and I'm just waiting for the iron to warm up, and then I will solder the cable on, or solder the nipple to the cable. Cable runs down underneath. I've got the that on, whatever you call that thing. And the other end's on, and also got I remember to put the shroud on as well, because I like those. So I will solder that, get it all fixed up, and then we'll attempt to put it on the bike and see whether it fits or not. So trying to get focus. Let's see if that makes it focus a bit better. So I've got solder in there. You can just see there's a little bit in there. My woefully small soldering iron takes a bit of time to heat the nipple up, but all the cables now are soldered. I will snip them back and then dress up the back of this nipple on the grinding wheel just to flatten it off, and then we'll try and fit it on. I'm going to let it cool down. I was just looking at the solder, so step back to a former life. Fry's Metals were actually a customer that I had when I worked for a company in the UK, a major gas company, and I think I got that there. So I don't know how many years I've had this. Anyway, not relevant to what we're doing. Well, kind of, because I use this solder in there. So there you go, there's the connection. This needs to be, well, that then probably needs a clip, I think, just to hold it tight to the fault leg, but that works. I'll put the lever end. Plenty of room, so I can now, the bit I was most excited about, put these rubber gaiters on. Very smart. Look at that. Lovely. That's nice to have a bit of success. Good way to start the week.